Hannibal's lats muscles have been his trademark for a long time, and not only because they are quite powerful, but also because this is the pose he demonstrated in almost every video, and often photographed in this pose. And after the first videos 13 years ago, the number of guys who spread their arms on the streets raised significantly. But let's be honest, if you type Hannibal workout program into Google, the first thing you'll get is this program.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
In his interviews 9 years ago, Hannibal admitted that pull-ups, push-ups and dips are the first movements for everyone who comes to the calisthenics parks. It is the base. Hannibal also calls this trio around the world, but if you wanna progress further from there, it is not enough. Do not get me wrong, you can achieve some success, simply because this program implies a certain amount of work, but to call it full-fledged program is not possible, and certainly the form of Hannibal did not become as it is due to this methodology. Hannibal himself was skinny, just like 80% of those guys who hang on the bars. Yes, he never had extra fat because of his active life, as well as good genetics, because his father was a boxer and his mother was also not prone to obesity. But still, it was calisthenics that made him so muscular. So now let's talk about the real movements, thanks to which Hannibal made his shape, and the first movement is the human flag. Hannibal did it very often, and in fact this movement mostly involves the lat muscles of the back, and there is an obvious progression of the load in it, starting from the moment of learning the element, ending with such complications as pull-ups in the flag. Believe me, a flag is not just a way to surprise others. This movement is very effective. Long time ago I made a video about my 45 kg friend with incredible strength records. This is what this guy looks like. His name is Alexander, and his favorite exercise was the human flag. He performed it on everything and even made an official attempt to set the world record in this movement. In general, being a naturally skinny guy, Alexander had quite good lats muscles. And all this due to the human flag exercise. Well, the flag is advertised. Now let's have a few words about how to train it. And for this I contacted with another master of this movement, Andrew Strong. In general, it is not difficult if you remove a bunch of unnecessary crap, and you can explain how to train the flag in a minute. Now let's check it out. Step 1. Your arms should be on the same plane to keep your balance. Step 2. Learn to hold the body in the starting position. Step 3. Push the body into flag position and try to hold on to it. Step 4. High hold. This is easier, but already trains and prepares the muscles for the load. Step 5. Slow lowering. The negative phase of the movement gives you the same load as the positive phase. The only difference being that the negative repetition can be performed by everyone. And finally, the last sixth step is to hold the element itself, either with legs apart or upright. Now let's back to Hannibal. Another useful habit of King's was his smoothness. He rarely did movements for the sake of movements. For example, he could do 20 pull-ups instead of 30, but using clean form. Moreover, Hannibal rarely trained counting repetitions. And not because he has problems with math, but simply because it makes almost zero sense. The emphasis was just to make the movement smooth and involve the maximum number of muscles in the work.
Now what I'm doing, I'm pulling to the chest, getting that explosion, but not yanking like over the bar, a muscle up. The slower you doing it, the more you building endurance. You gotta work slowly. I did the overhand. That's for, you know, the shoulders, the forearm, the tris, a little bit of core, some back. But overall, and that's the overhand, right? Overall, you want to do it slowly and with control. You guys see me working out mad fast, like doing my reps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because I got to that point to run through those. I had to do them slowly first. You understand? So you should be able to do the same number you're doing fast, slowly. If you're not doing that same number that you're doing fast, slowly, consistently, you need to go back to the drawing board.
In general, the essence of what Hannibal said is to control your movements. It is less traumatic and more effective. In addition, controlled movements also load the muscles in the negative phase of the movement, which is 50% of your workload. I think within this video I do not need to mention the standard pull-ups with the wide grip, at least because it is obvious and everyone knows about the effectiveness of this movement. Hannibal was not an exception and also performed it, but again, given the fact that King never trained with weights, sooner or later the usual pull-ups would not work for him, so he learned how to complicate his work in this these movements as well. And the first complication is L-sit pull-ups. Again, the cortex, biceps, forearms and lat muscles are used. The movement is performed under control in full amplitude. Next is an even more complex movement, the front lever lifts. This movement is very similar in biomechanics to crossover pullover, and its effect is that you can provide a peak contraction by raising to the front lever and holding the body there. This movement gives good depth and detail to the muscles. Perhaps the most difficult movement of the three is so-called Hannibal high L-sit pull-ups. Again, in this movement, the whole upper body works, and what is important, you can progress in it for a very long time. Check out how Hannibal did this move in his prime years. Hannibal made up for the lack of extra weights with these moves. The cool thing about Hannibal is that it's been 13 years since he started his calisthenics journey. Back then, the word bodybuilding would probably bring to the mind Ronnie Coleman, and the word calisthenics would bring to the mind Hannibal. And that is what Hannibal looks like now, and that's what Ronnie Coleman looks like. I found a clip of Hannibal talking about why he doesn't train with weights. Listen to this.
One of the brothers told me about an issue. He has a groin issue. Straining, playing with them weights, playing with weights.
Deadlift, did he say? Did he say deadlift or bench press?
It don't matter.
Okay.
He was deadlifting though.
Yeah.
It don't matter though.
Right.
This is what I'm saying. You must build your strength to where you can ragdoll your body weight. When you can manhandle your body weight,
When you control your
then
body.
you can add a pound or two. Manhandle that. Add another pound or two. Manhandle that. You don't manhandle the stuff. Oh, I do a muscle up and your muscle up ain't clean, then you throw 45 around your waist.
In general, I cannot disagree with Hannibal about the expediency of using weights when you are not ready for them. But a competent approach to training and a combination of calisthenics with weights will absolutely give you both the resulting strength and the form that you have dreamed of. With all, the training will not be boring and with a wide variety of exercises. In the link in the description I also shared a secret video where I talk about why calisthenics is the best direction for a long-term results in your form, and why this particular sport I believe is the best in terms of athletic longevity. So be sure to go over and check it out. And also subscribe to this channel if this episode was useful to you, and check out the previous episode with Hannibal where we went over his abs workout in detail.